Hi, Ed Smith coming to you from the Tackle Box again. Thank you for joining us at thebasscast.com. We're going to talk about jig fishing today. Most of you who know me know that I've been pretty well known for jig fishing all my life, and it's put a lot of money in my pocket, especially at Smith Mountain Lake and Bugs Island Lake. This typical jig that we use is a 3/8 ounce jig, and I've always thrown it on 14-pound test line with a fairly stiff rod. I personally throw a Browning Vectra rod. It's the one I use a lot, and I like it. It's got a real good quick tip on it, and it allows you to skip the jig and put it in tight places. My claim to fame for many
years was catching fish under docks at Smith Mountain Lake with a jig, and I think the secret was I was skipping it right up to the very back of the dock where the bank and the dock meet. Those fish would generally bite it as soon as it hit the bottom or as soon as it landed in the water. Things changed when the water dropped at the lake about 5 or 6 years ago. I forgot how long ago it was. It may have been 10 years ago when the water dropped. But anyway, it dropped about 4 or 5 feet below normal pool. All the rocks under the docks got dry, and I think the crawfish left those docks. And that's pretty much what a jig resembles, is a crawfish. If the bait's not there, the fish aren't there. Today we catch bass at the lake in 10, 12, 15, 20 feet of water. When you take them out of your live well, the live well's got a lot of crawfish in it. The crawfish are out deeper. It's really difficult to get a bite on a dock at Smith Mountain Lake anymore with a crawfish. You can still catch some around docks, but they're not in the same area of the dock they used to be in. And that was right up on the bank. A lot of times I'll go from a 3/8 ounce to a 1/2 ounce jig, and the reason is it's easier to skip a 1/2 ounce jig than it is a 3/8 ounce. The 3/8 ounce wants to bite the water, and a 1/2 ounce will bounce across the surface like skipping a stone. So if you practice long enough, and the secret to making a good skip cast is to stand straight up in the boat. Don't lean to the right. If you lean to the right, you're going to hit the water every time. Stand straight up and let your arm put the arc on the jig, and it'll go right exactly where you want. Even under a dock can be an inch or two off the water, and I can put a jig under it. A lot of times the fish are around the outside poles on the docks. That's a flipping situation or a pitching situation. You just pitch the jig or flip the jig to the pole, let it sink, jiggle it a little bit, pump it once or twice, reel it in, and hit the next pole. That seems to be the pattern more today at Smith Mountain than any other method. Colors. In clear water, we use green pumpkin, pumpkin seed colored jigs, or jigs with a little bit of orange in them. This jig is made by a guy named Bill Easterly. It's called Bill's Bass Jigs. They're available at the Tackle Box, and this particular color is one he named after me. It's called the Ed Smith jig. This is another real good one. He calls this the Alabama Crawl, and that's been an excellent jig for us. And we tend to use this jig, the Alabama Crawl, in a little colored water or a little dingier water. Now when we get down to the lower end fishing that real clear water, a secret that myself and my ex-fishing partner, Steve Roberts, used many years was a gold skirt. And in that super clear water, that gold skirt was a ticket. With just a regular jig, it really didn't matter too much what the color was. The gold skirt was the key to it. It was gold with a little flake in it. And Marvin's has those available at the Tackle Box. Other than that, there has been a trend in the last couple of years to go to what's called a bitsy jig. That's a real small jig. Marvin has those available. And the difference in that is the skirt's small on it. It's almost a finesse jig. And they do seem to like that better than a regular jig today. That's about all I can tell you about jig fishing now.